Live from 864 Sound in Greenville, South Carolina, it's the Wash Bros Podcast with your hosts, Matt Jackson and Clay Smith.
What's up, guys? It's Matt Jackson and Clay Smith, and we are the Wash Bros. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be our 6th episode, and we're going to talk about what does success mean to us and kind of how we started in business and what that meant and where we are now and how that has evolved. So let's kick it off, Clay.
Yeah, so success, I would say, can mean a lot of different things for different people. I think it just depends on kind of who you are, right? So as far as me, success, when I first started this, as far as the pressure washing stuff, I would say that I just wanted to make what I was kind of making, in the car business. And now looking back, it really wasn't a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
What I was making weekly in the car business, I pretty much making a day now.
Yeah.
Not really comparing, you can't really compare apple to apples, but
yeah,
I wanted that to at least be my goal. I wanted the minimum that I can make in the car business. That's kind of what I wanted to make weekly. I just wanted to match it.
Right.
So if I can match that, then that was success to me.
Exactly.
So I think, like, as people and entrepreneurs, no matter what stage in life you are, success could change, daily, monthly, weekly, however. But for me, I mean, it's changed dramatically.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, how would you gauge success? Like, how would you?
Yeah, I mean, the success for me, I was kind of similar to your situation. I had a corporate job in sales, and it's like, okay, well, I can make uncapped commissions, but based upon like your accounts and your job, you're only going to make a certain amount. So I had like a baseline I wanted to at least hit. And that was like, okay, I can live off of this amount. So success for me was kind of like you're saying, is if I'm going to leave this, I'm going to have to be able to replace it with something even.
And not have to worry about someone breathing down your neck.
Absolutely.
And all you have to do is worry about yourself, and making sure the people that you're serving are happy, really.
Absolutely.
And are the bills paid?
Yeah. So essentially, it's like success in the beginning is survival. And then that allows us to lean into doing what we enjoy, and then we level up as people, and success is just always climbing.
And as far as being a business owner, when you're a new business owner, I know for me, it's just like, hey, I'm successful because I'm a business owner. I own a business.
That's the title, yeah.
Before you ever, and you're in that mindset where you're like, okay, I own a business. I'm successful. And that's how everybody views you, maybe. I don't know. I knew before that I started a business, and I seen business owners, and I talked to business owners, or we were in sales. I sold stuff to business owners. I was like, okay, well, he's a business owner. He's successful.
Right.
Automatically, when I hear business owner, I used to think successful.
Yes.
So when I filed the paperwork for C3 and I started, pressure washing, I was like, okay, I'm successful now. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
But I still got to keep going. You got to have the self-discipline and the drive and the energy and the motivation to keep going, because if you don't, you're just going to fall flat on your face.
Absolutely. We see that too. Like you remember the day when you get like your LLC officially back. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to post this all over. I made it, Mom. Like this is more important than my diploma. And it's funny, like we'll see it in pressure washing groups or business groups, and they're like, I'm official. I can retire now. I'm a business owner. But that's like stage one. So it is funny too. I mean, I remember it was like Valentine's Day of 2019, and I officially filed for my LLC.
On Valentine's
Day. I had my priorities in check.
Yeah. So you celebrated Valentine's Day with a new business, your new love of your life, which it pretty much is. You're married to the pressure washing business. You're married to your business.
Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. So
I know that I have to eat, sleep, and breathe it.
Yep.
Even when I don't want to, I still have to.
Yep. It's like you're saying, you go to these races and everybody's trying to hang out and enjoy time together, and you're over here like, I'm making deals happen so I can put my name on this car.
Well, there's people. We were, I was at the racetrack the other night, and I was just zoned out and my phone working.
Yep.
But we got through it. That's just how it goes. But yeah, that's another success thing. Eventually you get to those points like where you get in your shoes and you don't really have to worry about it. As you're growing and you get employees, eventually we won't have to worry about those things.
Yeah. And two, success is always going to change because of, like you said, where we are in business. And I've evolved to the point where success used to mean like me going out and making like $1,500 a day by myself.
Yeah.
And what I'm learning now with employees is like, okay, I can have the same hour window of time and have my employees go out and then make me like $2,500, which is a conservative day for them and it's not killing anybody. And I can be at home and then I can pay them out $400 combined and then make $2,100 and then say, oh, wow, this is a new version of success. I've grown and evolved into that. And then like you're saying, the next stage for me probably will be like, how can I not be on my phone all the time trying to make business happen and filling these guys' schedule all day long? Because it's like, man, success is always changing.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people, they don't understand what it takes to be successful.
Yeah.
I had a couple people tell me, hey, it's past 5 o'clock. You don't need to be on your phone. And I'm like,
That's when everybody's home.
yeah.
So they talk to me.
Yeah, but I have my customers, they tell me, hey, you were the fastest, you were most communicated. I had a quote within 5 minutes of even submitting a lead on your website, and you had already given me a quote. I went with you.
Yep.
Just because you gave great customer service. So if I didn't do that, how many jobs would I really close? You
It's
know,
true.
so how much work would I be missing out on if I decided that, hey, I'd rather just get back to this on Monday, 2 days later? People have probably already found somebody.
I fully agree. And two, like the definition of success for you still is like, hey, this is my business. This is my baby. It's like I was saying, like Valentine's Day of 2019, my one true love is my business.
Be mine.
Be mine. Yeah.
Matt the driveway guy, be mine.
Your business won't wake up one day and tell you they don't love you anymore. They will just take all of your money, not half.
Yeah, they'll just take all of it.
So,
They'll take all of it for sure.
exactly.
I mean, they take all of mine about every week.
Yeah,
I was telling you about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought I was killing it this past week, and then look at the bank account, like, damn, I didn't get nowhere.
Exactly. Exactly.
Uh,
But it's like, hey, you're like sowing into your business, and it's like I had a lot of expenses this past month because I was investing in having another truck, retrofitting that, having employees. I'm like, oh, we did amazing revenues. I think I did like over 3x my revenue of last year, but there's so much added expense with growth that my definition of success isn't what is my net profit this month as much as it is, hey, what am I putting in place for next month? And like my definition is constantly evolving now since I have a different trajectory than I used to.
yeah, I'd say 5 years ago, success for me was probably 6 figures.
And
I want to be 6 figures. 6 figures ain't shit, man.
no, yeah, that's
Yeah, that's laughable. I'm not here to say that I'm better than everybody or any of that mess, because I'm not. But 6 figures is not a lot of money.
not yet.
we
no.
we were talking about that earlier. We spend that a year.
Yeah, it's expenses.
Expenses. Yeah. So now I would say, as far to get to the success part, I would say for me would be really just time with the family.
Yep.
Because money doesn't really mean anything to me. Yes, it does. You know, I have to make the money. I have to make sure that my business is profitable. I have to make sure that my family's taken care of. I have to make sure that I can give them a good lifestyle. Yeah, so to a certain extent, money means a lot, but money really doesn't, it's not really why I'm doing it. I know we've talked about it before, but it's more a time with my family and the lifestyle.
True.
But you have to make the money. So that's the successful part for me. I'm not stuck at a 9 to 5. Well, I worked a crazy job.
So, yes.
So I worked 70 hours a week.
You work less hours
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I work less hours now. I know,
make more
because we
money.
talk about that a lot. I work 70 hours a week. So I think moving into being a business owner, you know, I've got into that success part because I got away from the toxic job. I was in a toxic situation. Didn't realize it at the time. I was a miserable person, and it was bad it wasn't good for my relationship with my wife, my kids. And now that I have that time to actually spend time with them and do stuff with them, and I bettered that lifestyle because I missed out on a lot of stuff being in a regular job, you know? So
Oh yeah.
now I can say, hey, I'm going to take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'm going to go on vacation. And that's what we did the other week.
Yeah, that's the beauty of having your own business. It's like, yeah, you're working after 5 p.m., but unlike those people, after 5 p.m. on a Friday to Monday morning at 9 a.m. is like their vacation. when it's your business, your entire week is your vacation, and you just throw your week in. You just have to make money in the meantime. So you're not trying to escape the entire week. You're over here like, hey, I love what I do. It's my business. It's my first love, and I'm gonna pour into that. But I'm also gonna have time for my family, and it's not gonna drain me at the end of the day. So like again, success for me is that I'm not trading my energy all week long for a paycheck. I'm able to pour into something that I enjoy that doesn't feel like work, and like. I'm not looking at the money as much as I did in the beginning because that was a driver for me because I was trading time one way or the other. And now it's like, oh, this is something I actively enjoy now. So that's my definition of success. It's like having peace and happiness in what I do.
Yeah, more time with your family, more time with your kids, more time with your wife. If you don't have kids, kind of,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's more a wealth. Yeah, cats and plants.
Plants now, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much a plant mom.
And Starbucks queen is what we say.
I'm the
Starbucks queen.
I'm the the Uber Eats.
The Uber Eats person. But so more time with your wife, more time with your family, and your kids is more of wealth than I would say the American dollar.
True, yeah. It's like the rich. Yes, like are you rich or wealthy? Like one to me has more substance.
And you see a lot of these guys, even with 7 figures, they're not really happy people.
Yeah, because exactly.
And a lot of people they want to grow into. They're like, oh, I wish I could have that much money. I wish I could do these things all the time. I wish I could do this. Wish I could do that. But those guys, they really live their life in a blah. Like they don't even know what's going on half the time because their mind's so busy and they're so stressed out. And
yeah, it's like if you're chasing 6 figures and it makes you happy, and then you hit 6 figures and you realize it's not that impressive. 7 figures is not going to be any different.
Yeah, 6 figures is easy. Yeah, so like you said,
it's the same mindset because you're going to level your version of success up and always be chasing that next thing. So if you're at 7 figures, you're going to be saying, I need 8 figures. And then you're like, well, I need to be the best guy in town. And then it's going to be like, I need the best guy in the country.
More of it turns into an ego thing.
Yeah, and you find these people, they start chasing and they're never satisfied and they're never happy. And it's harder for them to be happy because their version of success is not aligning with what they should. Or they're doing something because they think it'll make them happy, or somebody else says they need to do it to make them happy, and it's not their true version of success.
And I think a lot of people, they don't realize that a lot of the people that you think that are millionaires, they're not millionaires. Their businesses are millionaires.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, revenue and net are different things.
Yeah, revenue and net incomes are way totally different. Yeah. But you can almost leverage that business to make sure that you have the nicer.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, like you said, you don't have to necessarily chase money as an employee does, because your business can be utilized as a tool where you can experience more things than just money. Like you say with your racing, that's really cool. I think that's successful in my eyes, and I'm not even doing it.
Yeah. So
every time you show me pictures, I'm like, I'm jealous.
Yeah, we talked about the racing a little bit. Like I said earlier when we were talking about it briefly, if I were to race, it would probably cost me 10 times as much as what I paid a sponsor. I still have just as much. Yeah, I still have just as much fun sponsoring it and getting my business name out there and connecting my business with racing,
which is a passion of yours.
It's a passion of mine. I love racing. Been around it all my life since I was about 2-3 years old. So
yeah, it's super cool.
But yeah, success in the car business, going before pressure washing, success was making it to management.
Mm-hmm.
I finally made it to management. Then I realized management wasn't shit either.
No, it's just a shiny object.
Yeah, it's just like you said, you got that goal. When you finally get there, then it's like, shit, what is this? You're like, okay, it's fun for the first few little while, for the first little while, and then you just want to move on to something else. And but I would say, as far as success goes with C3 Wash Bros, I don't really know where I want to go yet. So this is my second full year, and I'm kind of just stuck in that part, like. You know what I'm trying to go with.
I did it last year, and again, I had the ability. I had the ability, like just being freshly married, that I didn't want to grow my business at that point. And you have a family with kids that you want to spend time with, so there's no rush to grow.
Right.
And I did the same thing when I was in your stage, and I just focused on having a killer foundation to when I wanted to grow, I was able to grow, as opposed to, I don't really want to do this. I'm trading time away from my family that I don't really want, and it's not natural.
Yeah, like I've set out everything that I wanted to do with my business. It's exceeding my expectations. I have all the work I need, all the work I want.
Yep.
And I'm fortunate enough for that because there's plenty of guys out there that are trying to figure out how to get work. But I'm in that position where last year I thought that, 1 to 2 jobs a day was booked, but now I'm 3 to 4, sometimes 5 jobs a day. And I'm like, I've come a long way,
Oh, yeah.
That's success to me.
Mhm.
Looking back last year, like I said, 1 to 2 jobs a day, and now 3 to 4, sometimes 5 jobs a day.
Look where you were last year compared to where you are this year at the same time, and then see how much you've changed and grown.
And how much knowledge I've gained, how much experience I've gained, how much I have learned from the mistakes I made last year and the problems that I had last year.
Yep.
It's just, it's
Yeah.
overwhelming, to know how much I have grown as a company.
Yeah, it's like you've passed survival, and then you've added reputation into the mix. You're pretty well known in the area, and then you have good parents online too.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, all right, what do you want to do?
So I think I looked the other week, and this time last year, I think it was March actually.
Mhm.
I was looking into March. I was doing $700-800. I think I was averaging $700-800 a day, and now I'm almost doubling that.
Yeah.
The jobs that I'm scheduling for the AM slots, because I don't know if you do the same thing, but the bigger jobs I try to go ahead and knock out while I'm still got some energy.
Yep.
First thing in the morning. So I'm doing that much money in my AM slot, my bigger jobs.
Yep.
And that's what I was doing a full day
Oh yeah.
last year in March. So
Yeah.
now I'm got it doubled. That,
Yeah.
like I said, that's the success stuff. Just a little baby steps. Not really baby steps. I mean, it's been really big steps, but that's the success as far as growing my business.
You pretty much have been able to double your business because you've picked up efficiency and you've learned how to do the work, and you've also been able to figure out like how to position yourself to like create goodwill in your brand in this area.
And try to build a good reputation. Obviously, you can't make everybody happy.
It's true.
That's just business. You're not going to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
I don't care how perfect you think you are. It's impossible to make every customer completely 100% happy. No matter
That's
how
true.
you advertise, no matter how you say it, what your slogan is, what your motto is, you're not going to make every customer happy.
That's very true. I finally got myself into 5 stars on Google, and all of last year I was a 4.9 because of just unfortunate situations. You can't please everybody, but I'm not going to bend on my ethics and my morals with my business. So I just say, hey, look, if you want to give me this review, here's my link.
You got to stick to
I
your
was like,
guns.
this is how we run business around here.
You got to stick to your guns and what you believe. Or if you treat every customer different and you think differently for every, you got to stick to your guns.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom of it. But I used to tell everybody when I managed the car dealership that, hey, I got to have bad reviews too.
Yep.
So I can learn.
We are human
so
beings.
we can grow. Yeah. If I have 5,000 5-star reviews, something's up.
Or you bought them, yeah.
Or
and
you
that's
bought
true.
'em, yeah.
And like I've grown too because I used to be so like perfectionist minded with like reviews and like, oh, how am I competing in this area? And then I think you hit a certain point where you don't need that affirmation of like artificial reviews and all this stuff because, like you said, somebody could just be a 4-star person, and I never get 5 stars. Or you get somebody who's mad and just give you a 1 star because they're just that type of person. Or I've had just 1-star reviews and they're not even people I've done business with. So it's like success had to change for me. Otherwise, I'd get hung up on like perfection with all this nonsense. And then it's like, oh, well, I'm doing what I want to do. It's successful. And I'm not looking at things that in my past life I would deem as like failures and then like get hung up on them. Success for me is sending somebody a review request and them giving me a 1 star.
Yeah.
And then I don't care because I still have a 5 star.
Yeah,
and I say,
that's
thanks for
success.
that extra review.
That's what I was actually about to say. I was watching a podcast the other day, and it's hard as a business operator, owner operator running your own business. You get those bad reviews or somebody says something, or, I had a situation this past week about a job I did and the customer was, didn't have something good to say, and you take it personal. That's
Exactly.
the hardest part.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part, is not taking it personal, because you put your blood, sweat, and tears into something, and now they're trying to knock you down, and you're like, okay, I want to cuss you out, or that's the hardest part. You have to learn how to have a different mindset about everything. Like what I was getting to say is, you're not going to make everybody happy.
And you get to a certain point in your business where it separates. It's like, hey, look, I can't win them all. I'm what used to affect me is no longer affecting me. And then you're like, I have so much goodwill associated with my business that like, okay, sorry, bro, but like I'm on to the next one. It's like I'm with growing. There's a lot of stuff that if I was still in my owner operator mindset of like controlling everything, I'd be like, this is killing me. Like it's so inefficient right here. But the definition of success to me is offloading. And like you say, your definition of success is being able to like do what you want and be more present with your family and your kids. And that's where I'm shifting to. So it's like, okay, I had these guys go out and do the work. I had to go out on Saturday with one of my guys because we had to complete a project that if I was just me, I would have finished it, of course. But they're allowing me to spend time at home on a weekday where I normally wasn't able to. So like my definition of success has shifted to the point where I have to look past like the small details and see like the greater good.
Yeah.
And like you get a customer who like dogs you, you're like, hey, look, I did what I could. Like my conscience is clear here. It's not my fault. On to the next.
Yeah, and some people they're gonna want to hound you and just try to get something for free.
Yeah,
they're going to like
it's their
play mind
personality.
tricks with you
Yeah.
and try to get you to knock some off the bill, or no matter
I've
how
had
much
that
money
happen a
they got.
Yeah, I've had that happen a lot. I don't work with certain types of people because I can detect that, and I say, "Oh, you're trying to beat me up."
Yeah, if you can detect, even if it's a $20,000 job, if you can detect that they're going to be that problem customer,
I don't
charge more or walk away.
and to me, it's not worth the money to deal with the headache. And it's like, hey, a successful for me is having my own business and not having to do something I don't want to do. Like when I was having to sell somebody something that I didn't want to do, but it was like the company had a partnership with this company. I had to just deal with that person's BS all day long. And now I'm like, hey, look, C3 Wash Pros, they'll take care of you.
Yeah, and then I have to do the same thing. It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, like
you
keep pushing it downhill.
You eventually get in that mindset of, hey, I don't care who you are, how much money you got, how much money you're willing to pay me. If we can't see eye to eye, and I feel like that you're going to be one of those problem people that, hey, we're not going to be able to do business with you, and maybe I'm not the right fit for you.
Yep.
Then that's part of success. If you can make sure that.
Yep.
You want to make sure that you're able to provide the best quality service you can.
Yep.
And if you're strong enough, no matter how much money, even if it's $100,000 job, if you're strong enough to walk away from that, then I would say that makes you a successful person.
Yep. It's like,
It makes you a stronger person down the road.
100%. You're not all about chasing the money. And I've been raising my prices because of inflation and just because now I carry overhead with workman's comp, with employees, with multiple trucks. And it's having conversations with people that were coming to me because I was lower price back in the day just to get work. And now saying, hey, look, I'm not going to chase a discount here. I'm saying this is my cost. Take it or leave it. And it's like if I'm a salesperson, I'm like, hey, I can't close them all. I'm not personally hanging on to like, oh, like I need this.
And what we were talking about the other day, the 65% closing rate. So you don't want to close everybody. If you're closing everybody, then you're too cheap, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a common mistake, I mean, I used to do it, and you make it in the beginning is you try to close everybody. That's like scarcity minded. It's like, oh my gosh, like I need to fill my schedule. And then you get to the point where you fill your schedule. And then you say, how can I find that appropriate closing ratio to maximize my value?
And we kind of talked about that with me when I was telling you about my schedule. You're like, you need to raise your prices. I'm like, I have, man.
I know. I was like, well, if you're still booking jobs, keep them up.
Keep on going. Yeah.
But that's not trying to take advantage of somebody. That's finding people who see value in you and not allocating a spot on your schedule for something that's not the best utilization of your time.
Yeah, and if you're closing higher tickets, it's easier. That's part of success too.
Yep. It's
because you built value in your company, and people see value in you, your company, your time, and they're willing to pay the price to have someone come out and do a good quality job and get great customer service.
It's not about price, and I've evolved that way as a consumer too. Like I had a thing I needed to get moved, right? And somebody was jumping on it, wanting to do it like the next day for what I was like, well, I wouldn't do this for this price. And to me, that low bid created a lack of trust in my eyes. And then I was like, hey, there's this guy who's local, who's awesome. And he's got rates that are a different price point, but there's value there. And it's like, to me, success is like, hey, I'm willing to pay that because of I know that there's going to be quality service there, as opposed to like, oh, this guy can do it cheaper.
This guy can do it cheaper.
But that raises concerns. It's like, well, if he's doing it for this cheap, what kind of shortcuts is he taking?
We hope that everything's not going to get scratched up and busted and fall out the back of his truck on the way back to where it needs to go.
Absolutely. So success is dealing with people and running business the right way and not looking at money.
Yep.
That's kind of where I've evolved to.
Yep. Totally agree. So that kind of wraps up episode 6. Episode 6. So that wraps up episode 6. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We'd love to answer them in the next episode to come anyway. And check us out. Give us a follow. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Check us out and like us on Facebook.
Awesome.